What do I need to do in order to land that Scrum Master job? Hello, welcome to the Scrum chat room with Dr. Francis Mbunya. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button for returning viewers. Welcome back. And this is series 2 on what you need to do or what you are missing, especially if you've been in the gap for a while and you're not having a Scrum job, then you need it. For those who are actually very new in Scrum, I'm going to be talking about how to build a solid foundation that helps you land that Scrum Master job. A recap of Series 1, and I'm also going to put the link on this video for those who did not watch Series 1. I said the first step you need in order to get a Scrum Master job is to have a plan. Having a plan is about visualizing the future. I also did said in that video that the reason a lot of people give up is because they don't see beyond what they are doing now. So many people get into the space of agile and maybe try for, let's say, a year, try for 3 months, and like, okay, the market is saturated, I'm not getting a job, and they quit. Right. Now, the reason you quit is not because you cannot do it, it's just because you have not seen what you need to sacrifice currently in order to unlock 45 years or the next 20 years of you being in another dimension. And that's why we want to use this video to help you actually uncover what you need to do. Today, I want to talk about how to build a solid foundation that gives you the visualization that helps you to know exactly what you need to do. And I also did mention in my last video that you need to understand the different certification that you need to acquire in order to have a job. And a lot of people have PSM, and that is it, right? If you're having only PSM, you are missing out more than 50% of the opportunity out there, right? And if you don't have the SAFe certification, I'm going to encourage you to do that this weekend. I'll be we'll be running a SAFe training certification. Reach out to me by text if you want to be part of that class, or just check the link below to join. And also, we have other certification coming on, release train engineer coming up in the next 2 weeks, and the product owner also training coming up in the next 2 weeks. You can reach out if you want also to be part of that training. But without wasting much time, let's go straight to our training today. One of the things I focus on is to give you the value and not to focus on selling, right? I only give you what is necessary for you. That's why I tell you, you need this. If you see value in it, go get it. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. We're going to be more practical today to discuss about the foundation of Agile. Now, when you actually get an understanding of your plan and you're able to see beyond just having a job, the next thing you need is to build a solid foundation and understand why Agile. What is Agile in its sense? Or why should I even be pursuing a career in Agile? Now, your understanding of the problem that Agile is solving is what helps you, or is what gives you the leverage to know that you are in the right environment and to understand the value that you need to put in. So the first thing you want to understand about Agile is to understand that before we ever talk about an Agile certification, or before we ever talk about, okay, you know what, let's do Agile, is because the company see it necessary. So most often we look at Agile as facilitating events and removing impediments, and all of these end only at this small level. So our inability to visualize that, apart from just us facilitating events and removing impediment, the overall goal of Agile is to deliver the business goal of the organization. So it doesn't matter what we are doing, if we're unable to help the organization get out its business faster, we are not helping the organization. So Agile, it's a way of thinking, it's a mindset that helps the organization become better at its goal, right? So you understand this. Now, for us to become better at our goal, we are leveraging a business strategy that is called Agile. And Agile say that what we want to be able to learn fast, we want to be able to grow fast, we want to be able to involve our customers. And we're going to see in the next slide, which I'm going to share, the 4 core values and also the 12 principles that help us to understand the whole rationale behind doing Agile. Right. So when the business strategy we're implementing is agile. Now, if we're implementing agile product development, what we need to do is that we need to focus on the product vision. The product vision simply means that what exactly are we looking forward to acquire in terms of implementing agile? And also, a vision is like where we are going to. Now, the vision is going to give us a strategy. At the level of the strategy, we are looking at, should we implement Scrum? Should we implement Kanban? Or should we implement SAFe? Now, it's at the strategy level that they make the decision and they start looking at the solution, discovery, and the roadmap. This is where they even make the decision to bring in Scrum Masters and the product team, right? And then we bring you down here and you start building. Now, why was it important that I showcase this diagram to you, or this scheme, or the overview of what we call the agile onion to you? Because if you don't understand that what you're doing right down here is as a result of a corporate vision, you will not be able to support the organization. And that's also why you get questions on an interview like, as a Scrum Master, how have you been able to support the organization vision? Now, if you understand that every little thing your team is doing right down here is contributing to the vision, then you are going to properly answer that question. Okay, so that is very, very important. Now, when you understand the overall makeup of Agile, from the corporate vision to right down to the team level, the next thing you need to focus on is that you need to be able to have an understanding of the value. Now, for every action that we take, the power is in the value, right? You are who you are because of the value or the value you don't have, right? So you realize that at any time you want people to take you seriously, what happened? You actually need to level up to another level. You need to be able to I would say man up. You need to be able to start building, carrying yourself a specific way. So agile, it's agile because of the manifesto value. Now, what is the meaning of manifesto? Let's get this a bit clear so that we can better support you to understand. Now, manifesto simply means that what? Simply means a guide that helps you to understand exactly what we are doing. So at any point in time when someone brings up a new way of learning and want to share with others, that person can document what is this new knowledge based on. And here we have Agile. It's all about individual and interaction, working software, customer collaboration, and responding to change. So these are the four fundamental values that Agile holds itself on. But then you see this over in the middle. The reason why it's comparing this is because before we came on board with Agile, there was what was called Waterfall. Waterfall was focusing on processes and tools. So they found something better and said, look, we don't want to focus on processes and tools. We want to focus on individual and interaction. So look, we don't want to focus on comprehensive documentation. We want to focus on working software. What is a working software? A working software is simply a demonstration, or is simply a demonstration of a smaller part of a software that is working. How can I better explain that? Okay, I have my phone right here. Now, this is an iPhone, right? And if I look at this phone, you can clearly see the camera. Now, without this camera, this phone can still function. So if I have a team that is building this phone, the team can build a camera and say, hey, Francis, we're done with the camera. So I can come and check to see if they're done with the camera. Now, the camera is a working software. It's part of the phone. I can validate that independently. So whenever we're building a product or building stuff, we're building it part by part. Now, another example of a working software, we use an example of a car, right? You have the tires, you have all the different parts. We can evaluate all of these parts independently. They are called working software. When you put them together, they form the product. So we can actually know if we're making progress by evaluating smaller components of the product. And in Agile, we call them user stories, mounting up to futures and epics, right? Then we say, okay, instead of writing long contracts, we want to collaborate. And collaboration is what gives us the ability to have flexibility in change and all of that. Now, we're also looking at what? Respond to changes of our following plan. So Agile gives us quite a lot of flexibility that help us as an organization to move faster. So first of all, understand the whole structure, and then secondly, understand the Agile Manifesto, understand why we have this value. The next thing I'm going to show you are the 12 principles, and I'm going to explain a bit of what the 12 principles are talking about. If you understand these three aspects, then you have built a solid foundation that help you to take your next step into your Agile journey. So the next thing we're going to talk about today in our series 2, we want to talk about the 12 Agile principles. Now, when you talk about principles, realize that when you have certain values, you need to build principles around those values to sustain them. Right. Now, we spoke about the 4 Agile Manifesto value, which include individual and interaction, working software, customer collaboration, and respond to change. So what helps us to sustain this value? We have 12 principles that help us to be able to sustain this value. What are these principles? Principles say that we're looking at what? Customer satisfaction. Customer is the king. We want to pay attention. That is why during your spring review, you actually bring the customer in. Right? We're looking at welcome changes in requirement, even late. Now, imagine I'm building something for you, and I tell you, hey, anytime you need any change, just let me know. Versus someone that we say, okay, we need to make sure all of this stuff is right. Anything you change is going to cost you money. You realize you mostly go with someone that gives you flexibility, right? I did explain what a working software is. Working software incremental. If we're building, let's say for this shift, for instance, we can view part by part and demonstrate it to our customer or to our customers so that they know exactly what we do. Business people, developer must work together. Now, the reason why this is very important is because in silo organization, like in typical traditional organization, we work with what? We work with different department of finance, department of human resources. All of them are different. But in Agile, we have all of these people come together as a team to work together. Build project around motivated individual, giving them support they need and trust, right? That's the reason why they're hiring you as a Scrum Master, to be able to motivate your team to do the right work. The most efficient and effective method of conveying information is face-to-face, right? Here we talk about PI planning and other Agile ceremonies that help us to be able to convey face-to-face. This is the reason you need to come to our training. Now, when we do training, and for those who we train them on the practical aspect of interviews, we break down this stuff, we go into detail, we let you role play it so that you can understand exactly what is your role. And any person that comes through our community, the rather Agility Institute, by the time you go out, you are a full-grown coach. Trust me. And I always say that, hey, the reason why we don't spend so much time selling to people, our community, is because it's value. For people that are in, when they come in and they see the value, they know that it is worth everything. So I want to encourage you to reach out if you interested in being part of, not interested in being part of a community. Let me rephrase it. If you want to understand the in-depth of Agile, have the possibility to ask as many questions as possible, have the possibility to be coached by the best in the market, then you should consider coming to our community, right? The number is below. You can send us a text. We'll give you what it takes. You review it. If you meet your requirement, then come right with us. The sponsor, developer, and user should be able to maintain constant pace, right? That's why at the end of every spring, we're starting another. At the end of every spring, we're starting another. There's no breakages, right? So we implement a DevOps system where we have continual integration, continual deployment constantly. Continue attention to technical excellence. Technical excellence is one of the major value of Agile. Simplicity, the act of minimizing the amount of work not done. Simplicity, we start by just scheduling all our events the same time on a repeated basis so that people don't spend much time finding out which meeting we have today. So we do a recurring booking. The best architectural requirement and design emerge from self-organizing team. Very important. The team reflect on how to become more effective and adjust its behavior accordingly. Now, we just discussed the different foundation. I just touched on most of this stuff on a very high basis, right? There's a lot we can break down to this. Everything about Scrum, about Agile is built on these three different components, which I just discussed today. As a Scrum Master, if you don't master these three components, it means that you're still missing out a couple of stuff. It means that you still have some extra work to do, right? So the reason we do YouTube videos, so the reason why you should follow YouTube video is not because it has everything you need. It gives you the knowledge you need to move ahead. And don't forget, I've put together 150 plus question and answers from all the different components of Agile, and the link is in the description below. Make sure that you enroll in that course, and trust me, you are going to see so much value, and in less than no time, it's going to close that gap. But if you don't yet have the practice, please, the best thing that will happen to you, join our community of practice, and you will definitely get the result you need. All right, series 2, and I'm going to see you in series 3. And in series 3, we want to take it a bit ahead and start discussing the Scrum event one after another. We're going to take you in depth. I'm going to drop in the video on series 3 on Saturday, series 3 on Saturday, series 4 on Monday, series 5 next Wednesday, series 6 next Friday, right? Series 7 next Sunday. I have 10 different series, and all of these different series are going to take you in depth to everything you need in order to become an outstanding Scrum Master. I see you in the next series. Do not forget to comment. Do not forget to like. If this was beneficial, share with someone.